Hera Psychotroph.
Hot purple, Medea, she'll work you. Hot purple, hot purple, hot purple, Medea, she'll work you. Hot purple, hot purple. Hot purple making pale juices. Their impending doom, it was hearses. All over but the crying. All that bullshit they was trying. At the gates of Babylon, money changers. Flipping tables, rearrangers. Hot purple slangers. Medea, she'll work you, it's a banger. Smile away from the tree line, the man of rain. Riding into the sunset. My Medea, dragon venom. Jewel in the lotus. Amethyst serpent. The need for anti-venom is urgent. Athena, work it. Seashell purple. Dielectric water flow. Castle Franco. Vampirella. Bellissima. The dope is hot purple. Medea, she will work you. The circus and Analima. Tu jefe ese the boss. Heliocentric. Cult of the crow. Athena. Run the sky for the Mio Mars. Try a little bit of Death Bubba Kush on a trailhead full of zombies. Original sources, Ionic Omni. Hot purple, Medea, she'll work you. Hot purple, hot purple, hot purple, Medea, she'll work you. Hot purple.
Welcome back to Lady Babylon Initiating Apocalypse. I want to say thank you to Teddy Bass. Thank you, Teddy Bass, for working us in. Always love it. Always love it. Fantastic. I want to take you somewhere tonight. Look, don't send me a bunch of notes about this. It's not up to me. Devil told me you got to take him back to Eden. I was like, we're going back again one more time. He's got this fascination, and to be quite honest, we all know what it is. We all know what it is. What I'm about to take you to is a party. Now, we are all going to be in suits of invisibility. Isn't that nice? So we can wander and watch and witness. That is the power of our Christing. Are you ready for this tonight? Are you ready? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, now I want to start off. With just a little bit of hoo-ha. I appreciate the fact that you allow me to do this and take a little bit of liberty every once in a while. I just want to say, if we're going back to Eden, we're going to have to drive through all of those scholars, all of those merchandisers, all of those people trying to tell you and sell you. We have to drive through them again. And the biggest group of those is in the 1st century BC, 1st century Anno Domini, 2nd century Anno Domini. We're going to hit that crowd in the spaceship on the way there. Has anybody ever noticed as we're going through the past, every once in a while we run somebody over? Yeah, well, tonight it's them. From the guys at Qumran, feverishly copying the Greek into Hebrew. From those guys all the way up to the moderns, sitting at their desks at the seminaries. Head of Greek, Dallas Theological Seminary, is afraid to tell me what a Christ is. Isn't that amazing? Every other time and place, they want to tell you what a Christ is. For some reason now, nobody wants to tell me what a Christ is. Oh, tonight's party is 3. It's a party for 3. Now, don't get dirty. Don't get dirty, because the 3 that we are talking about are going to have a complex interaction in the mystery, right? Come on, put your mystery cap back on, right? We're here. Did you bring it? Fantastic. Okay. I want to make sure that you get the goods and the real. So I'm going to bring you that mystery. And the way to do it, you're going to like this, congregation. The way that you do it is by playing Genesis backwards. Okay. All right. I told you he would lose it. No. We're performing a reverse linguistic analysis of Eden. We're going to go to the actual text. You think you've heard the story. You haven't. You have heard a third grade level terrible translation of the original. And we have the original that rocks. Are you ready? And I'm going to take you back. You're going to be so happy when you see them. You're going to be so happy. Who are we talking about here? We're talking about the devil, who, don't forget, before we get into the text, don't forget, is the most handsome of all. Do you understand? This guy is Adonis. He's one of our triangle. Another is a woman who cries, Ewa. A woman who cries the Bacchic cry. She's number 2. She's there in this triangle. And who else is there? No, don't boo. Don't boo for Adam. Just get him up here. He's, yeah. You are untouchable. Adamas, you are untouchable. Shut up, listen. Do it. So it was at this point in the conversation, the devil told me, I need you to take my sweat. And I said, what am I going to do with your sweat? He said, you're going to drink it. I said, what? He said, yeah, you're going to drink it. And when you drink it, it will make you, can I say, Chewy, will the Empire get us if I say horny? Is that what's the scientific? Somebody give me in the chat. What's the scientific? Aroused, maybe? Yeah. Like they used to say in 1850, the randy and the wanton. I need you to be wanton tonight. I need you to relax and unbutton and be wanton. That's what I need. Okay, so we have our, did we get Adam up there? Did we get yeah, good. Okay. That's our triangle. And from that triangle, due to the miracle of nature, came twins having different daddies. All right. Okay. Do you see? Now, this is not uncommon. It happens all the time. Right? And everybody's talking about it. It's special. Don't get me wrong. It's a special thing. But for the two to be born of the same womb who are of different seed, this is Bronze Age pharmacology. Hyperovulation, bruh. Yeah, it's gorgeous. They're doing it. They use fetal tissue too. Scrumptiddlyumptious. The dragon eats that fetal tissue. The dragon eats that fetal tissue. And you thought these people were strange and foreign to you as moderns. Okay? Well, just wait. Give it now that everybody's creeped out. That's fantastic. Give me the text that we're going to start with. I'm going to start us off in a deep, dark pit. Are you ready? Let me just translate this to you. And this is my message coming from James in the Bible. This man quotes the Bible. He does it backwards, though, right? Read it sometimes backwards. Read it sometimes. Trust me. It all starts with the apocalypse. Are you ready? Come now, you rich bastards. Cry and weep, mourn, because you have such garbage coming in your future. You know what your wealth has done? It's rotted. It's rotted. All those things you value, like your clothes, rotted. Your gold, your silver, your cashola is all poisoned. It's poisoned. It is a poison witness. A poison witness. And it eats your flesh like fire. And you are storing up everything you can for the end. Isn't that a gorgeous address? You know what they did with the man who said that? They threw him, right? Threw him to his death. Yes, they did. It's never popular to criticize those who are driven by greed. Do you think they've understood? Yeah, I know. They know it's a prison. I know. We told them. Shh. Are you ready? Are you ready? Oh, okay. Give me that. Give me the next source as soon as you get through the imaging, the mental imaging. I've only have a few slides tonight, so I wanted to give you something really, kind of personal. Give me the next one. What happens? What happens? God, we're back in Genesis, right? We're going to read it backwards. What did God do? He plossened man. He plossened people. He plossened the individual. What did he do? This is usually translated as create. And that from a third grade level works. But I'm going to show you. Give me what is plasso? It's not the word for create. That's poieo. Right? Plasso, this beautiful baby. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you modern Greeks. You modern Greeks. They're always going to say that, Chewy. They're always going to be like that. I don't know why. I don't know why. Presumption. Give me the next text. Here it is. Generally, the mold, form, right? To mold or form by what? Education or training, right? What do you mold? You mold your soul. How do you mold your soul? It says in Greek down here, you mold your soul with muthos, with these strings of logoi. You mold your soul. Give me the next one. And what kind of molding can you do in the world, people? Now we're going. It's not that deep, right? Look what we do. Plasantes there on the end. What is it paired with? Chrysantes. Oh, are you surprised? And it's referencing plastering a naon. And what is a naon? That is the inner chamber. It can just be a temple in general, but it's the inner chamber also. It's the place where the eidolon is. Do you see? They set up their temples as if they were mental images. And that interior spot is the spot that holds your eidolon. Your eidolon. Gnostic informant is going to bring us some eidolon next week. He happens to be off. Go ahead. He happens to be off doing things right now that Hercules is always going to be up to doing. So, hey, Gnostic, how you doing? I hope you at least broke 2 or 3 dishes. Where's that other pic we got him? We got him something somewhere. Give it to me. Give it to him. By the way, did anybody figure out who's on the thumbnail tonight? There he is. All right, Gnostic, fantastic. Put one back. Okay, don't drive. Be good. Just break plates. Tell them they're all Cretans. Tell them, all of them. Hi, people. You're all from Crete. You're all from Crete. Fantastic. It's liberating to find things out like that about your past. Give me the next one. Look, this is the first. Deep dive. What happens? God finished off the person, right? Dust from the earth. He finished him off. That hoon. What is that hoon? It's that stuff that blows on the ground. You can put it together with certain other things and make cement out of it. You know what I mean? Concrete, right? And what happened? In a what happened? God in natured into the face of this dude the breath of Zoe. What was Adam's face doing? It was being in natured. It was being filled with that natural power of the breath of Zoe, the breath of life, right? You can translate the breath of life, but you have to remember that Eve is called Zoe. Now, do you see the party that we've come to? Right? Cain and Abel, they didn't look anything like each other. They did not look anything like each other. You know what I mean? You don't have to sacrifice when you look like your dad. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Okay. Let's not. It's too hot. The mojo. Lower the mojo. It's crazy. Give me the next one. Watch this, people. And the Lord God. Now, this is translated. Part of this is, look, I'm giving you the Greek, but I'm going to show you a couple of places where the Hebrew it is too powerful. The mojo is too powerful. Are we back, Chewy? It's the jammers. They've got those imperial jammers, bro. You've got to clear those up. Okay. And look what the Lord God did. Now, look here. Now, I'm going to introduce you to Lord God. Are you ready? This is not your fairy tale. This is not some bright light. This is not some entity, pulsating, invisible entity. This is not, no, this is a dude in a place where people acknowledge the existence of the gods. I said that in the plural. The existence of the gods. Human history is polytheism, monism, like Judaism, Christianity, Islam. Those monist religions are aberrations of a polytheistic cosmos. Yeah. So what we're going to see here in this verse is this Lord God who you think is, oh, no, dude, it's a kurios. You know how many kurioi there are in antiquity? There's a whole bunch of them. They're all over the place. This is just a position. You thought, oh, it's the Lord from the void and the blackness. The speaks a light. Right? Oh my God. Do you know why? Because you have been injected with philosophy and theology right up your you know what. You've been injected with it for a long time. It's time to take that out. It's time to get rid of that. Suck that stuff out. Just pull it out. Get it out. Evacuate. Get some kind of instrument. What is he doing here? Where is he with his lamb? Oh, God, it's so ridiculous. Does anybody else see the ridiculous nature of this picture? This dude never, ever, ever, ever existed. There is no text to support that dude. Never. Sprinkle some kids around, maybe a couple of teenagers. Make him touching them and like a crowd in the background say, hey, stop touching those children. And he's like, oh, no. Then you'd be with the right Jesus. I don't know what that mess is. Look, they all look like they have the plague. That's what happens. Neil's going to talk about that. What happens when you suck the classical well dry? What happens? You get this. Look at this. Is this art even? What is that? It's like everybody's dead. I can't take it, Chewy. Let's get out of this sector quick. Let's go back to the text. There's got to be something good in there. At least something dirty or something earthy. You know what I mean? Don't be creepy about it. And what did he do? What did this individual do? He put the man whom he had educated into a paradise, a garden. You can say garden if you want to. You can say garden, into a paradise, taste true face, a paradise of pleasure. That's what the Greek says. Would you be surprised if I told you the Hebrew dropped this out completely? Show me what the next slide is. Where did he put this dude? He was educating him, you knucklehead. He was educating him. And what did he do? He put him where? In a place of luxuriousness, a place of wantonness. I told you, you needed to be wanton tonight, right? You needed to be wanton. Do you see the anthropology that's behind the text? Do you see that's stuck in the language? You can't get rid. It's like every once in a while you smell an ancient fart and you're like, oh God, I know, right? Like you could partake of that again. It's not to say there's anything bad about them, the smellers. Give me the next one. Here's the Hebrew, just in case there's anybody. Now remember, why would the Hebrew lie? Now, look, there's nothing. Go ahead and search it. You It's Jehovah. Told him it was Jehovah. Here we are. Are you ready? Calm down, Yahoo. Look, who's got authority here? Genesis 2:15 in the Hebrew. And look at it and see. Are you going to find any sort of garden of pleasure there? Are you going to find any wanton people there? No. Okay. Then stop. All the scholars, pull your pants back up. Okay? Gird yourselves. This is supposed to be the Hebrew that was the original that the Greek was translated from. And you're telling me the Greek dudes or the rabbis, they said it was 70 rabbis who did this, right? They all got the same words and everything. Don't worry, they were in different cells. It was all hoo-ha, boo-ha, religious ceremony. And what happens? That's the story. None of us buy that, right? The Romans are standing around looking at them like, I got to go somewhere. You're going to hurry this thing up. So that's what we're supposed to believe. If this Hebrew was the original, what did the Greek dude or the translator do? What did he do? To just pull something out of thin air. Do you know that's not common to just pull concepts out of thin air when you're translating? You have to have some basis. You have to have some rational basis for making a word what it is. Dropping it now, if this is a Greek translation of the Hebrew, then the translation is in error because that's not in the Hebrew. And here's your rational conundrum that kills 2nd century Judaism. Yeah. The religion. This is a religion killer. Are you hearing what I'm saying? It's an antichrist. It's an antidote. It's an antidote. This text is supposed to be originally Hebrew, but the Greek translation, supposed, has a word there that's not, there's not even a whiff of it in the text. It's an invented, it's just just pop it in there. Just, totally falsify it, right? So you tell me, is this that, or is this the case that the Greek is the original, that the original makes sense the way it does and is beautifully, fluently Greek, ancient Greek, it's gorgeous, and that the Hebrew translators were sitting around saying, oh my God, how are we going to translate this? How are we going to translate this? They only have 7,000 words, people. They got barely enough for breakfast. right? Now you confront, what's odd is you confront biblical scholars about that, and they just beep because and if they have to answer something for it, they'll make something crazy up. No vowels, man. Language was no vowels. Did I fool you? Yeah. The devil fooled me. I drank the stuff. Next thing you know, I got twins. Give me the next passage. We got to show people what's going on at this mystery party, right? Remember, we're invisible, so it doesn't matter. You can't see stuff and touch stuff without, and hurt it. Look at verse 16. This Kurios commanded Adam. He told him, he said, look, in this place, you can take of all the trees you want, except for the one that is the tree that brings the knowing. The knowing what? The knowing what is kalon and poneron. That which is beautiful, good, and that which is not beautiful or good. Right? And he says, look, when you eat from it, when you partake in it, what's going to happen to you? You're going to die by means of death. And you think, well, that sounds like a weird way. Isn't it natural to die of death? Is there any other way that you're going to be dying of death? If you take this, it will kill you. It is a death inducer. What did the devil tell Eve? Right? He said, that Jack is a liar. That Kurios is lying. And remember, he's still the best looking. He's best looking around, period. His job there is to guard the tree. Huh. Okay. Is there anything in that tree? Would anybody be surprised if there was an association between that skin of the lamb, that ram skin, that lamb of God, that lamb skin of God? Would anybody be surprised? Of course, no. At this point, you wouldn't. What is going on? The dudes in the 3rd century who wrote, and people, I'm going to tell you this, and I don't care if it takes you 20 years to prove this right. The book of Genesis that we're reading from was written by the same dude that wrote Isaiah, Job, and the other one, Psalms. And you say, oh, preposterous. Okay, line up your DuckTales Dans. Line them up. Are you ready? Are you ready for a linguistic analysis to show you that this thing is a forged history? It's a forged history written in the 3rd century. And they are using the Greek as a base. It's originally in Greek. They're using the Greek culture to mount their mystery, to mount their monism. Yeah, fantastic. It's almost like a parasite. Monist religions. And when I say monist, for the people who maybe just joined, a monist religion is one that worships a single divinity to the exclusion of all others. Monism is like a virus, and you can see it from ancient Egypt, all the way up to 2024. You can see the virus and how it works to pull down the systems of justice that polytheism naturally tends toward. Yeah, you mean in polytheism there is a natural justice? Yes, in polytheism there is a nature to watch. And there is a nature from which you can gain insight. You can watch a mother give birth. And what does that teach you from nature, bonehead? That's not a faith. It's not a creed. And it's not something you you can get from a seminarian or a teacher or somebody on YouTube. When you worship that nature, this is what you get. You get that paradise. You get that paradise. And that's what they're building here. This Kurios, this Lord, right, just happens to be the one who is taking Adam and finishing his education by bringing him through this rite. He pulled her from his side. Now, if you're sitting around, you think, oh, you've never seen that expression used anywhere else. I'll tell you right now, as a classicist, Jesus is doing the same thing when he goes up and masturbates and then offers it to Mary for lunch in the woods, in his private place. Yeah. Same concept. It's a cult rite. Right? It's a cult rite. So remember, we're at this party and we've got Adam and Eve and Lucifer. Adam and Eve and Lucifer. Give me the next one. Okay, what's going to happen? Are you ready for the cult? You thought this stuff was fairy tale, didn't you? No. What did the Kurios do? He brought about, or he made a boethon for his Adam. What is a boethon? A boethon is somebody who rides next to you in battle. A boethon, or boethos, in the nominative, that is a person who comes up with a shield on your flank. That is what he was getting. Now, where is he going to get one of these that he can take from the side of the Adamas, the one who is made invincible, right? It's like, you come of age and your daddy takes you out and you do some things. And this daddy went out and he said, hey, we've got to get the Amazonian woman, right, to help us with this one, right? We've got to get, now you're sitting there thinking, I thought this was all about in the beginning, and boop was the earth, and boop, there the fish, and boop. Okay. There is a sophistication. Please remember that you are reading Greek, and there is a sophistication to it that you cannot approximate without the original. You're talking about, you're getting the third grade. You're getting the third grade reading of it. Okay? And what the Greek is the Greek is the adult version. So it's going to hurt. It's going to, oh, I'm sore. Right? Yeah, it's going to make you stretch. So let's stay with them right now. Adam and Eve and Lucifer. Give me the next one. What are we going to do at this party where this boy is getting his finishing? He's getting his finishing. Yeah, this was the problem. I just put this up. The problem was they couldn't get one, right? They couldn't get a boethos. They couldn't get this Amazonian woman, this Ewa, right? They couldn't get her. That's what they're waiting for. That's what they're moving through the creation for, is this Ewa. Oh, nice. It's an interesting picture of what the person who's writing this in the 3rd century is using as their historical models. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. Now watch this. It's going to betray. She's going to show she's Amazonian. She's going to show her Scythian roots in just a second. If people didn't know that Eve was Scythian and they actually called her Skutha, here you go. Here you go. She's gorgeous, man. We just have to show people, right? Where's the third guy? Bring in the third guy in there. She's in there somewhere. I don't know who's on that cover. I'm not sure. Oh, so let's get back to the right. And we're what's the first thing that happens? Give me the text. The first thing that happens before any of this has come to pass, before this right, we're sitting here now watching it. Boom, boom, boom. And we've got Eve, we've got Adam, we've got the devil. Boom, boom, boom. And I swear to you, I put that poison sweat right in her cup. Right? You know what I mean? That was what I was supposed to do. Right? So here we are at that party. Boom, boom, boom. What happened before this? I hate when movies do this, but I'm going to do this because I'm moving backwards. What happened before this? Before this, God stoned Adam. What do you mean he stoned him? He stoned him. He blitzed him. He took him and scrambled his brain. He threw him into ecstasy. He threw him into ecstasy, and Adam went into this stupor. Ecstasy. What kind? Is that where we get our word ecstasy? It sure is. It sure is. That's okay. Keep going. It's where we get our word ecstasy. Now, what do you think? Do you think that there's a Hebrew word for ecstasy? No, it turns out there isn't. All the Hebrew says is it put him to sleep. You can see they were like, okay, these weren't dummies. These people who were writing, they were just bad translators. Well, you can't even say they were bad translators. They were working with 7,000 words. If you only had 7,000 words, and that's what the average vocabulary of, I think it was 7-year-old. If that's your vocabulary, you're not going to have words in it like ecstasy. I appreciate that. So what did the people do? They just went, oh, okay, here. There's no Hebrew word for ecstasy. So instead of that, we'll put the word sleep. And that's what they did. They put the word sleep. And your translations into English will reflect that lie. That lie. There was no ecstasy. What are you talking about? They just put him to sleep. They just put him to sleep. Do you see how that obscures the reality? Because if they've got ecstasy going on, they've got some kind of ritual, some kind of drug to induce the ecstasy. Oh, God, and there's a billion we could choose from, right? So especially if our dude who's writing this is living in the 3rd century, and he's got all the mysteries to choose from. Goody, good. Oh, God, it's gorgeous. People who didn't realize. Now, some people didn't realize that Judaism is a creation of the 3rd, 2nd. You know, I would say you have to include the 3rd, right? But 2nd, 1st centuries BC, it really gets going. 1st century, 2nd century. That monism of Judaism. Jews were not originally monists. Yeah, it turns out they're all from Crete. Yeah, or at least that's one of the places that they migrated from over to what you and I call Palestine or Israel. Right. Yeah, it's not like an amazement to them in antiquity. Right. So by the time this document is being written, you've got to realize there is no Moses. Right? He's a fiction. Moses is a fiction. Not only that, but it's a bad use of, I don't know, maybe they ran out of pizza that night or something in Alexandria, right? They ran out. They crashed and they just couldn't come up. So they were just like, oh, just take Musaeus, right? He did the same thing. Just make him Moses. Or just write him in. It's like maybe there were a group. Maybe it was a group of writers, and maybe these writers were not so good. Right? These are not. If you put Genesis, the book of Genesis, next to Homer, Homer will make you weep. I have seen people weep publicly, right? Like a really good movie, reading Homer. The differences in the style are laughably, from, again, people, it's 3rd grade stuff. It's 3rd grade stuff, and don't blame just this attempt. It's really an insult. The creation of the Torah was an insult to Judaism because they already had the Greek, which had much more beautiful detail. It was very heady. Judaism was born in Alexandria. It didn't come out of Egypt. It didn't come out of Syria. It didn't come out of Palestine. No, no, no. It was born from Alexandria by people who had been speaking Greek for a long time, by people who had a liturgical language for which we have nothing left over. Nothing. Everything Hebrew scholarship, ancient Hebrew scholarship is based on a Greek text. Yeah. So we have to look at the reality of what's going on. So we're at the garden, back to the garden. What did we do beforehand? We got drugs, right? We got booted into ecstasy, right? Why is God putting Adam into ecstasy? Because he's about to pull Eve from his side. Now, do you remember? I'm going to show you the Lord. Do you remember what happened? Oh God, who's standing with you? Oh God, now stop. Oh, I'm so afraid. Oh God, help me. Right? I am the Lord. Can you see my form? Can you see my form? Yeah. I will give you the Thanasimon, says Jesus, and it won't kill you. It won't kill you. I am the Christ. Do you know what God glories in? God glories in the Christ. Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic. Let's give me the next one. Oh, it's gonna get okay. I'm gonna take a little bit dive into a little bit. The dragon. What do dragons do in antiquity, by the way? By the way, I'm sorry. For those of you who are out there and thinking this dragon has scales and flies through the air and stuff like that, you're wrong. I'm sorry. It's just a dude. It's just a dude, but it's a crazy dude. And this dude sees visions and stuff like that. And he has one task: to guard this tree. That's it. Nobody can get close to the tree. You can't even get soldiers in there to surround him and get to the tree the way the grove is. It's a grove of Aries. It's a grove of Aries, child of Hera, she who nourishes the soul. Okay. So you can't even get in there. This dude is crazy, and he's got poisons, and he'll paralyze you right away. No questions asked. Right? Okay, fantastic. This is the kind of woman that we're trying to find. We're trying to get you and me and Yahoo. We're all trying to find this Amazonian woman. We're going to pull her out of Adam. We're going to pull her out of Adam. Are you ready? How are we going to do that? You'll see. You'll see. So what does the serpent say? He says to the woman, not with death. You're not going to die with death. Right? Because God knows. Keep going. What does this Kurios know? He knows. In the day you eat from it, your eyes are going to be opened, and you are going to be hos theoi. You're going to be like gods. Now, you say to yourself, wait a minute, the Bible acknowledges the existence of gods? Yes. Why is that, kiddies? It's because it's written in a time when the people acknowledged the existence of many gods. And here is God and the devil and Eve in a little struggle about who's saying what's what. And the devil says, look, you're not gonna die. Right? I'll give you the Thanasimon. Did you realize the devil is a Christ? Did you realize that? All right. I will give you the death inducer, and it won't kill you. Okay. Right. He just doesn't want you to see the world like he does. That's okay. That's okay. We're back. Right. So here is the devil, right? Proving that God is a liar. Just like the people who took the Greek and created a fake Hebrew from a dead language that only had 7,000 words. That is a lie. The devil from the very beginning has been one who has towed the line when it came to that lie. Don't lie. Right? Don't lie. This is the devil's kingdom, right? He knows. He knows. Fantastic. Beautiful portrait, right? Beautiful portrait. The Bible disproving itself, the Torah disproving itself, because if the Torah is the original and it doesn't have a completed set of words, it doesn't have the concepts that are on the Greek side. Yeah. What are you going to do? It wasn't good enough. Did you know the text itself acknowledges, and the person who's speaking is God. This is in, I think it's either Isaiah or Ezekiel. I'm pretty sure it's Isaiah. He says, look, I'm not going to send you to a bunch of people of an advanced language. I'm going to send you to the people of Israel. Right? So the text itself acknowledges the weakness of Hebrew, right? And not to mention, it sounds like an insult from somebody in the 3rd century whose Greek was strong and they were on the side of pro-Greek, right? People think that Judaism was a reaction, the Hellenistic rebellion against the Greek was, that was what was Jewish. No, there were lots of Jews who were plenty happy to be stuck with Greek and with that old dead language being just a part. We don't even put that in our synagogues, people. Bring him up one more time. I talked to Gnostic today, and he reminded me, he said, is Jezreel, the Jezreel Valley has that kibbutz there with the vineyard. Hey, hey, buddy, we'll pretend he's here. We're pretending Gnostic is here. Hey, Gnostic. Hey, we were talking about the Jezreel Valley. I just wanted to tell a satanic congregation. We were talking about this Jezreel Valley, and I lived there. I happen to live there. And I used to ride horses all over the place. I was that guy. And I loved it, absolutely loved it. But wait, why did I even start here? Look what you did, Neil. Look what you did. You knocked it right out of my brain. It'll come back to me. Stop, quick, Chewy. Divert him. Get him to the next slide. Don't run away, people. How unprofessional. I don't understand how this person operates. Give me the next one. Here we go. Are you ready, people? What's going to happen? Yeah. And the woman, okay, here's Eve. What did she see? She saw that this tree was good for the sake of consumption, right? This looks like something good, right? It's, it looked good to her eyes, right? It's useful, right? It's this fruity fruit thing, right? It's Orion. Do you see that word Orion? That's fruity. That's fruity, like come and pop. There's a fruit. Oh, it's gorgeous, right? That's how it's described. So she took it and she ate it, because he told her, you're not going to die. And what happened? Now remember, something that is kicking in is analogia. You're going to sense a strain of oracular writings here. The author of this work of Genesis, who is undoubtedly the same dude that wrote Isaiah, definitely, right? This dude is now creating a world that reflects the things that are going on around it, right? And what are they doing in the mysteries? They're using a vox. They're using a voice. So you're going to have to look for that voice here, and it shows up. It shows up all over the place, right? And it shows up here. She ate of that thing, right? And she gave it to him, and he ate of it. Do you understand? Eat of my flesh, drink of my blood, right? They are entering these ecstatic states through these processes that involve the botanicals, that involve all sorts of compounds. And so here we are. We finally have this woman here, and now we have a choice. We have a choice between this glorious Amazonian queen, and you're going to know she's an Amazonian because I'm going to show you. God reveals it. He lets it slip. She's an Amazonian. Give me the next one. Give me the next one. Are we okay? A little interference there. What is the tree? I think we skipped over one, but that's okay. I can go from here. What is the tree? What is it doing, by the way? For those of you who are just like, wait a minute, he's just talking about drugs, right? Christ is a drug term, but yeah, I am talking drugs. And what is it that tree did? The one that God said, don't eat, it'll kill you, right? Which he didn't really say, right? He said, it'll kill you via thanatos. Yeah. Right? Devil said no. What does that tree do that he told you not to partake of? It's the tree that causes you to have kata noeo, to exercise. It's a verb, to exercise kata noeo. Yeah. What is that? Chewy, give me that. Tell me what kata noeo is. To be in one's right mind, or to be in one's senses. Do you know what that thing will do? It'll reset you. And you will know. You will know. Yeah. That's what it's all about. That tree and the access to that tree is what creates the adamas. This is all cult, mystery cult. And it makes perfect sense that it's being created in the 3rd century. There is no Moses. Judaism is a Greek invention. Yeah, not a modern Greek invention, because the language has deteriorated to such an extent. But the ancient Greeks, yeah, like Plethon. Let's bring it back. Give me the next one. I just wanted to show you, this is the, now how do you translate that into Hebrew? You can't really, right? You have to just get some generalized word like knowledge, right? Knowledge, knowing, premeditation. Look how, that's kind of shotgunny down there with skill and truth, seriously, right? Well, they have to do that with the ancient Hebrew a lot. Sometimes one of these Hebrew words is not, right? It can't be what they're talking about, because you read 2 books earlier that it was something else, right? And unfortunately, they do this. And this is one of those occasions for them to do it. You can't say ecstasy, so you say sleep. You can't say a state of mental soundness, a state of mental health. You have to say knowledge, right? This is not about knowledge. This is about a right. And these 3 people who are going through it. Yeah. And a Kurios who's going to get mad and is going to reveal his own hand by showing the Amazonian who is Eve. Give me the next one. Let's get to it. We only have a couple more. And what's going to happen? And your eyes, right? The eyes. So that's what they said was going to happen. They ended up eating it. And what happens? Their eyes were opened. I just wanted to show you that he wasn't lying. The devil was right. God was lying. And what happened? They understood that they were naked. They understood that nakedness. Yeah. They got gnosis. They received that gnosis. And you know what that means? Hos theoi. They become as gods. Yeah. Wow, it actually worked out like the devil did. And they're sitting there naked, and what's going to happen? Give me the next one. They heard the voice of the Kurios. He's walking around in the paradise, right? It's about midday, right? So Adam and his wife, they hide themselves. They hide themselves from his gaze, right? Why? In the middle of that place in paradise. Why do they do that? Why do they hide themselves? The dude is walking around. This is what the text very carefully expresses. The dude, this Kurios, was never meant to be magic, invisible, hoo-ha god. This is a Kurios. And he's walking around the garden saying, where the hell are you guys? And they are naked. And why do you think they're trying to hide? Why do you think they're trying to hide? Where do they go? They go right back to it where the devil is, right? They go right back to the tree where they all got high, where the devil is. And what happens? What happens to these underlings of the Kurios? Watch. This is good. Go ahead. This is good Hellenistic. Adam says to God, he says, hey, I heard your voice walking around the paradise, and I hid myself because I'm naked, bro. Right? Because he's naked. What do you do when you're around that tree that causes you to come to that place of complete and total health? It involves getting naked and children. It involves getting naked and children. Think of this cult. Think of this cult. Getting naked and children. Producing them. Yeah. Yeah. And an Amazonian woman. Are you ready? Let's see her. Give me that. And what does Eve say? Right. Well, first Adam says, hey, you gave her, you gave her over to this whole situation, right? Right. And so she took the tree, she gave it to me, and I ate it. Right. And so Kurios says to the woman, what'd you do? And the woman says, the serpent. That serpent, he bamboozled me. He fooled me. It was a sweat. We know in the apocryphal works, it was the sweat of the devil that did the bamboozling. He bamboozled me, she said. He gave it to me, and I ate, right? Keep going. What does the Lord say? Oh, whoops. There we go. Next one. And what does the Lord say? He says to the serpent, he turns to the devil, and he says, because you did this, you're cursed. Right now, wait a minute. Do you mean the Lord, Yahoo himself, who shows Moses his behind? Yahoo himself, all speaking from the bush. Yahoo himself is cursing. Yeah. Why? Because it's the 3rd century, people. And curses are the big thing. Right? That's Hellenistic magic, baby. That's Hellenistic magic. And God is using it. This is the same God. This is Yahweh. This is the same God who brings together male lovers. If you are a man and you are interested in another man, you can ask Jehovah, Yahoo Hashem, and he will get you that love. Do you understand? Yes. They were worshiping by another name the devil. Eros. I showed you the passage last week. You cannot magically control Eros. He has everything. Do you see it? Did you know that Jehovah Did you know that Jehovah sprang, the worship of Jehovah sprang from people performing magic with a God that performed magic by drawing from the side of the adamant, the Ewa. Yeah, it's kind of interesting when you actually look at the cult and see what they're doing. Okay, we've got a couple more. Bring me the next one. Did I finish that last one? And I will. Oh, here. No, I didn't. Give me that. I don't think I finished it. Yeah. So you're cursed. You're cursed, right? And what else does he say? I thought he's going to say, you're going to go on your belly, right? You're going to eat that dirt, right? All the days of your life, right? You're going to end up in that Chthonian oracular earth cast down from Uranus, right? He's letting them know. You can see the drug knowledge on both sides. You can see how the drug cult is being used. It's its own language, and I think that's why they're saying dragon is their spoken tongue, right? They're speaking dragon. For you and I watching this, we'd be like, huh, right? We haven't been initiated. When they initiate you, you can open up and you can start perceiving and understanding the way they are talking. Very much Anthony Burgess. I love it. Hey, the dude who did the dissertation on Clockwork Orange, that's fantastic. I love that. I absolutely love that. Okay, right. Let's do it. Hit the synthemas. Give it to me. What does he say? Oh, now he turns to the woman, turns to Eve, and he says to Eve, are you ready? You didn't know what he said. Do you see on the third line what the third word is? Spermatos. I knew it. I knew if we were going to be involved in some kind of cult mystery, I knew that we're going to be dealing with sperma. Sperma. What does he say? I bet we talk about drugs too. I'm going to put this fighting spirit, right, between you and the woman. I'm going to put this fighting spirit. You remember she ended up with Adam, right? And they had twins and they were nothing alike and one killed the other one. Yeah. Yeah. Hyperovulation, bruh. Right? Seriously, it's the poisons. No, I'm serious. They talk about it. No, okay, I don't care. Read sore anus. Okay. And what's going to happen? He says, I'm going to put this division between your seed and his seed. Yeah. Do you see what happened with the Amazonian woman? That's not her identity yet. It's coming up. Give me the next one. What else is he going to do? What else is he going to do? Oh, and this is just some insufficiency. Oh, yeah. This is what Eve is in Hebrew. She's a helper. Right? Again, do you hear the third grade? Right? This is not the warrior. This is not the huntress. Because all of these cult drugs are being used and developed by these hunting cults. This is not their God. This is not their Ewa, right? That you and I have in our mind. The helper. Oh, I'm going to be a helper. Whee! Give me the next one. Give me the next one. No. What does he say to the woman? He says to the woman, look, here's what I'm going to do to you. Okay, here's God's punishment. Are you ready? He says to the woman, I'm going. And by the way, listen to the Greek. Plethuno, right? It's a repetition there that's native to the Greek. He's pulling that out of his backside if this is coming from the Hebrew. This is very much, and they love doing this, right? This repetition is extremely common. It's usually with a verb and then a nominal form with using the same root. Yeah, good. Anyway, and what happens? He's going to make your pain. He's going to make Eve's pain and groaning in her childbirth. He's going to make her have pain in childbirth. Wait a minute. You mean God threatened Eve with painful childbirth as a punishment? A punishment. How were they not having painful childbirth in antiquity? In the Bronze Age, how are they not having painful? They're not having painful childbirth because of the eos, because of that poison that they're using on their arrows. Eos, arrow, eos, poison, eos, snake venom. They're using those medicines to cause a painless birth. A painless birth. And what is the Kurios's punishment? This is the Jewish God. What is the Jewish God's punishment? What is the monist God's punishment? To take away the drugs. You're going to have painful childbirth. He's going to kick her out of the innermost circles where they use these drugs. Yeah. She's not going to be a part of it. That's what she suffered. That's what she suffered. I bet she was like, skip you, bro. I got things to do on my horse. Fantastic. Give me one more time. What is the proof here? What is the proof here? People, I want you to see that the punishment can only be a part of the culture. It can only be a part of the culture. These images that we're getting and these extremes, these things that are happening that are leaving us these vivid, like with Jesus, masturbating and then, eating it. Those mental images are anthropological radiation. Right? Somebody at the time is talking about that activity. Yeah. Is it historical? It doesn't matter. Look what it is pointing to. It's pointing to somebody masturbating in a public, he's off in the woods at that point. I'm sorry. I get all of his meeting places where he meets with kids. Jesus Christ. Can you please get your spots all squared? No, get your places. He takes the children there. He takes Mary there, right? Give me the next one. We've got to give. This is the last, people. I know it's coming. Let's just skip that. We're gonna keep going. Boom. Yep. Here, go to there. Boom. I want you guys to see this, right? I want you to see the ecstasy one more time in verse 21. Ecstasy. Please, and tell me what ecstasy is. Boom. Look at this, people. Displacement. That's literally what it is. That's like the most literal you can be with it. Displacement. What kind of displacement? Look at number 2, under Roman numeral number 2. Distraction of mind, right? From terror, astonishment, anger, right? And then we get the word entrancement. You know how you have these, put a spell on me. Somebody put a spell on me. This is what they're talking about. They're talking about putting you into ecstasy. And I know you're thinking spell is in Disney. No. I'm talking about the power to affect your cognitive processes, the power to put you into different altered states. The Kurios, who takes away the Ewa's drugs, he is giving this to people. You didn't know that God stoned Adam. You didn't know that God gave him a one-way ticket to Crazyville, did you? And he ends up the one that he didn't want him to take that one because he knew they're going to end up, there's music, there people are naked, right? And the devil's like, okay, tell Cain I'll see him later, right? Give me the next one. Okay, I'm going to give you one more because this is, I want you to see the reality. Yeah, go ahead. We're going to skip that Hebrew. Look, there's a lot of Hebrew that drops out. It's like, whew, you see what I'm doing? You're taking it from a graduate level down to like a third grade level. And when you're making that transition from Greek to Hebrew, right? It's just the mechanics of only having 7,000 words to work with. That's all. I wanted to leave you with this verse. The Lord watered us with the spirit of katanuxeos. What, a spirit of what? A spirit of what? The spirit of katanuxeos. What is katanuxeos? It's a spirit of stupefaction. People, I can take you all over the Bible. I can take you all over your Torah. I can take you all over your minor prophets. I can take you all over the Psalms. I can show you the intoxicating power of a God. I can show you how this was in the minds of the people that made your Moses and your Jesus. Right? When Jesus is going around doing the stuff that he's doing, where do you think he's getting all of these ideas? He goes down to Alexandria. He goes down to Egypt. And he comes back and all the rabbis are like, oh, isn't that guy smart? Smarty, smart pants. Why? Because you've got no educational institutions. You've got nothing. Judea is an armpit. Check out the archaeology. It's an armpit. It's a place. It's a place on the road. You know what I mean? You're on the interstate. That's all. And it's, it's not a big deal. The Romans hated it. They had to come in and build toilets so people would poop without tromping around in it. Seriously? Do you think that the language that is developed in this place, they're still stoning each other publicly? Right? What do you think the Roman governors thought of this? It's barbarian, dude. What are they doing? Do you think that their language, do you think that the language that produced this society archaeologically, what do you think of it? Are they going to be leaving a lot of stuff in the dirt? The scrolls and what? Nope. They aren't. They found one pot, or a couple of pots, in one cave, Qumran, and they thought, oh my God, we have a literate society. No, man, there is no Hebrew. It's only for the freaks, the monist freaks. The rest of the Jewish world is speaking Greek and reading Greek works and getting oh so high on those lovely, lovely, lovely Greek tunes. Oh, they're doing it. Why? Because the history of your cosmos is a history of Mother Greek. It gets my goat when people step forward and deceive and tell you this goes back to the Hebrew. No, it doesn't. The word Messiah is never there. It's never there. It's Christ you keep translating as Messiah because people through history bombarded governments and created their own legitimacy. But the language in these texts, they never stop. They're always going to be there. And it gets my goat, Penelope, it gets her when you don't follow the cross to its end, when you can only appreciate the cross without the sin that is behind it. Yeah, there's a problem. There's a problem. Thank you for coming tonight. Thank you for coming tonight. I will report back to the devil and tell him I told him, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. But for some reason, the dude is obsessed with the Garden of Eden thing, totally obsessed with it, as if it is itself the performance of a mystery. They said that Pan was dead. Perhaps he can come back. Perhaps there is the eighth man. Perhaps. Yes. Thank you for coming tonight. I want you to continue to absorb and hold these texts. There is coming a day, and I am just excited by people coming in and just having hunger for the Greek. People are so hungry for these ideas, these amazing ideas that cause your brain to have to sprout, right? It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. And that so many people are hungry for it that we've crashed the textbook industry on intensive Greek. I think that's fantastic. For everyone who's writing and sending art, thank you. That's absolutely fantastic. I love it. I love it. We need exhibitions. We need a return. And just taking hold of these texts will do it. It will keep us immune from the people who are coming to us saying, you have to learn the Bible. Thank you for coming tonight. It's my privilege and my honor to teach you. Next week on Friday, we'll be back with Gnostic Informant, and he will be here as my subject of an interview. Fantastic. I love it. Thank you for coming tonight. Hail Satan.
Purple Medea will work you. Wait on the triple beam 1 2 1 2. Seashells by the ton. Athena's love. Rubber dub dub. I'm flipping tables, cashing checks. Take it to the bank. At the gates of Babylon, the Wolfman regulates. Avalon, Avalon, Lady Medea. Lapis lazuli lines the walls. The muse sings with me. Extra illumination for the vibration. I have under me the knowledge of our Genesis, Crystal Towers, the Punisher, Frank Castle, Purple Rain. For the muse I sing her favorite song all night long. No stems, no seeds that you don't need. Got a bag of goodies, ice creamy cream. Hail Satan, close my eyes forever. Coming through in waves. Powerhouse on the hill, House of Frankenstein, darkness through dreams. I dream of Genie. Hot purple, Medea she'll work you. Hot purple, hot purple, hot purple, Medea she'll work you. Hot purple, hot purple, hot purple, Medea she'll work you. Hot purple, hot purple, hot purple, Medea she'll work you. Hot purple.